This is a mecha from an ancient civilization, the Abyssal. It can punch through 100 meters of steel plate in just 3 seconds, but despite its immense power, the Abyssal has an impenetrable rejection mechanism. Anyone with Crimson Syndrome who enters it will instantly explode and die. That changed when Subject 4926 stepped inside. For the first time, the Abyssal could actually be controlled, unleashing devastating power. Unfortunately, his body couldn't sustain the endless energy the Abyssal demanded. He was drained dry in moments, ejected from the mecha, and aged rapidly until he was barely clinging to life. It was a failed experiment, but the power Subject 4926 displayed during that brief moment of control only deepened my fascination with the Abyssal. No matter how many sacrifices it takes, even if nobles have to become test subjects, I will push forward with these experiments. Because right now, the Abyssal is our only hope against the Devourers. Ever since the old world collapsed, the surface has been overrun by terrifying creatures called Devourers. They feed on human life essence, possess incredible regeneration and aggression, and nearly drove humanity to extinction. The survivors had no choice but to flee into the beacon, a floating fortress in the sky. To keep the beacon running, we send scavenger squads down to the surface to scavenge for energy and supplies. But without a proper rationing system, our current resources would never sustain the beacon for long. A crisis was already creeping toward the beacon. Because the beacon hovers in place, countless Devourers had piled up beneath it, forming a mountain of beasts trying to take over the entire fortress. When the first Serpent Hound shot out its tongue and latched onto the bottom launcher, a deadly bridge of monsters suddenly took shape. Devourers swarmed up the metal mesh in waves. After multiple rounds of combat, our defense forces suffered massive casualties, but still couldn't hold back the onslaught from that towering beast mountain. Hilda had no choice but to order a retreat to the upper ring, but the moment she gave the command, she was executed on the spot by a Shadow Council enforcer, simply for issuing a retreat order above her rank. That's when Commander Senga finally saw how brutal the beacon really was. Consumed by disappointment, he killed the enforcer without hesitation and turned his gun on the Shadow Council and on me. He planned to seize control of the beacon, fire the railgun, and save everyone before the next wave hit. Senga's betrayal caught everyone off guard, to stop more soldiers from dying for nothing and to survive. He walked straight toward me and exposed every dirty job he'd done on my behalf over the years, tearing away my mask of righteousness and revealing the shocking truth. Governor Morgan had never left on any journey. Seeing that I was finished, Senja gave me one chance to activate the Abyssal. He had his men bring out the Abyssal armor and threatened my father's life, forcing me, a Crimson Syndrome patient, to activate it. Somewhere in the depths of my mind, I heard the voice of the Lord of Shadows. I was still certain I was the savior destined to change the world. With unwavering faith, I walked slowly toward the Abyssal, which looked like a gateway to hell. I endured the searing pain of flames as Shadow Council members screamed and died around me. Then I stepped inside the armor. In an instant, everything went silent. I felt like I was back in childhood, standing before the Lord of Shadows again.